Hello. She will. 2010 nigga. Yeah. Yeah. Get out my lane, nigga. No black in the building. Hey, will, nigga. Hey, 10 hey. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on track. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to eat so open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on track. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to eat so open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Cool your horses, nigga, before you get your head popped. These niggas got me twisted like one block, dreadlock. Hope there's a Teflon hat with these motherfucking headshots. I get it off, I rebound while you niggas shooting bad shots. Even if I ain't at the top, my probably remain locked with a bad lot. Especially behind me in front is a bad spot. So for my haters keep hating, I really don't expect it to stop. And you can think I won't shoot, but it ain't even a thought after this shot. I might fuck your bitch on the way, but I'm after the block. I got the temptation of the elders that ain't talking to what. I know if I talk with a banker, they'll just talk to the cops. So I try and use this rap shit to talk to these fucks. I'm so down with it, I'm fucked up. I'm smooth like a close cut with a touch of the hook said, what the verse said, shut the fuck up. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on track. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to keep door open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on track. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to keep door open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. We'll spit supreme with a grandma fit for a king. The lyrics that you get from a dream after the track ain't never paramedics on the scene. It's a blitz when I rush these niggas, crush these niggas, touch these niggas, no homo bust these niggas. I cock it back and let it bust these niggas. My hand grip the trigger, don't make me swap you nigga. All eyes on me, but I still watch you niggas. Fuck open, you gon' need a fucking doctor nigga. I'm the boogeyman, I'm a fucking monster nigga. Fuck taking over, I'm here to conquer nigga. Street made hood sponsor nigga, yeah. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on tracks. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to eat door open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Before they bust, I'm busting back $50 when I'm on tracks. Hell yeah, I'm certified. Getting money, just go live. Trying to eat door open wide. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly. Bang hot, then birds on fly.